The Office of Deaconess and Home Missioner is a movement of love, justice, and service.
It is very much at the intersection of church and world.
We're not meant to just sit here idle.
God gives you two hands. One hand to deal with the challenge, and the other hand to find the solution.
I was so excited to find an affirmation of my calling as a layperson.
We're all about breaking structures and building new ones and transforming ministries.
It's time to do the work that God has called us to do.
My name is Matt Morgan, and I'm a home missioner, and I'm serving in the greater Hartford region of Connecticut, working on homelessness. And I have to explain sometimes what is a home missioner, and I explain that it's a United Methodist connection. We have a lifetime calling, and that means we will, for the rest of our lives, be working in the church or in nonprofits or in the community. I never felt called to lead a church or to preach. I learned of the Office of Deaconess Home Missioner, and then it was just like, this is it. This is exactly what I needed, what I wanted. Deaconesses and Home Missioners find our own ministry. We seek out our own employment, find our own full-time ministry, full-time job, and then we ask that the church affirms our call in our ministry, and we're appointed by the bishop. I work at a nonprofit organization called Journey Home, and Journey Home's mission is to try to actually work on solving the problem of homelessness rather than just managing it with emergency shelter or emergency needs. Doing this kind of work, especially working with marginalized populations, can be very draining, can be overwhelming and frustrating and challenging. And I have my deaconess sisters and home missioner brothers to turn to all the time. I was thrilled that there was this outlet in the church that could affirm my experience and could affirm my calling and my ministry. One of the things that sets us apart from other kinds of connections in the church is that we have made this lifetime commitment to work in ministry of love, justice, and service.
My name is Selena Ruth Smith, and I've been a deaconess for a year and a half, and I serve at the Sumter Fire Department in Sumter, South Carolina. The firefighting path came first, and in that it's a ministry, and then the deaconess came a little bit after.
111 and 110.
Public service, firefighting, it's a ministry. You don't know the age or the race or the gender or the economic status. So you serve anybody. I found it to be a ministry because you're helping people. Being a deaconess puts me in the middle of the action because I'm a doer. So deaconess to me equals action. So the empowerment is very, very great, and we are empowered by our predecessors. They had less and we have more, so you know, if you have more, as God said, more is required of you. But you have to have the courage and the determination and the strength that when I see that fire or when I see a firestorm starting to brew, I have the courage and I know that I can go in there and I can put it out.
104, 10-4, 103, continue for the back 101.
Courage is all about self-motivating, that you know you can do it. You're going to have the community that stands behind you. So I love deaconess. They listen to what you have to say, and it's on their heart, and I think that's the sole purpose of my love for the Deaconess and Home Missioner.
I'm Cameron Kempson. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, and I'm a deaconess that works at Simply Home. We create assistive technology to support people who are aging or have disabilities so they can live independently. In 1 week's time, I had 3 people who didn't know each other come up to me and say, I really think you should consider becoming a deaconess. My family did not understand it at first. They thought I was going to either become a nun or that it was going to be a paid position with the church. They couldn't understand why I felt this strong desire to be in relationship with the church as opposed to being hired by the church or going to seminary. My passions and my gifts were in this spirit of social justice which to me is what we deaconesses are really about. My daughter is getting to see how faith is really making me the strong woman that I am. I think being a deaconess or a home missioner, we probably have more freedom or more capacity to really take on some challenging issues, and with our grounding spirit, address those in ways that maybe ministers can't or don't have the authority to do. I started engaging in nature outside my front door and spent a lot of times with my hand in that dirt and lifting up prayers through the rustling trees. And I started a blog that now reaches people all over the world. It's been a life-changing experience for me to do that, and honestly impacts the bigger ministry that I am appointed to. I never knew what to call myself until I found the office of Deaconess Home Missioner. Just complete commitment to social justice and mercy and kindness for people, but in a way that compelled me to do more than just volunteer, that made me feel like I was committed to doing this as my life.
I'm Gary Locklear, church and community worker. I'm a home missioner with the United Methodist Church, serving in the North Carolina Conference with a focus on Native American ministries in my own community and among my own people. Deaconesses are females and home missioners are males, but we both have this call to a lifetime of service, serving God among God's people. The people I serve almost always are the poor, the least and the last, those, as we say sometimes, at the bottom of the totem pole, financially and even spiritually. The thing I'm known most for is the mission aspect of it, going into people's homes and looking at the conditions in which they live and looking at ways I might be able to help them through the use of work teams. I'll assess what it would cost to do this repair. I'll try to match the skills of the persons coming in with the work that is to be done. I go into homes where relationships have been broken, not just with family, but with their own communities and churches. And it takes time to restore confidence when it has been lost or broken. And sometimes it's the last day of work that I get that trust from them, and that we form a relationship where I can invite them to a church or talk to them about their spiritual needs. One of the blessings of this work is to interact with people, and oftentimes they leave these crosses with me. This cross in particular was given to me by a team in Pennsylvania, and they came back a third year and I still had it in my pocket, and the leader of that team just broke down and wept because I thought enough of them to keep this cross. And these are very important things for me, that I have some symbol of where I've been and what I've done. And oftentimes I ask myself, why did God allow me to have these years of ministry even after I'd chosen to retire? I remember the day that I agreed to begin the work on the home missioner studies. Not sure why I did it that day, but I sure am pleased that I did it. It has meant everything for me to have the commission as a home missioner and to be able to step into this world knowing I have the support of the church, knowing I have the support of United Methodist women behind me to do the work that I do. So being a home missioner has given me the visibility, the education and training, and helped me to live out the call that I believe God has on my life.